Welcome back. I'm Rolly Coaster, and today we're going to count down the top 10 coasters I've ridden. And in this little subtitle here, I've put down that I've been to four larger parks. Those include Cedar Point, Michigan's Adventure, Six Flags Magic Mountain, and Six Flags Over Texas, where I didn't ride Iron Rattler. So that's not going to be on this list. That kind of sucks. Anyway, my number 10 is a pretty strange one. It's Ridder's Revenge, and I found this to be a lot of fun. Um, Main thing was that it had airtime, and I really did like the stand-up airtime. I thought it was a very unique experience. I thought it was a really unique coaster. How, the loop goes around the lift hill, like only two other coasters do that, Banshee and Kumba. I just found this to be a very cool coaster, and it had some theming. I'm not really a sucker for theming. I don't know. Anyway, I just found this to be a pretty fun B&M. It's no Kumba. It wasn't crazy intense. It was just a very, very fun coaster. You know, cool stuff on this thing. Anyway, number nine is Top Thrill Dragster, and I wasn't a huge fan of this ride. No, I was. It was crazy. It was a huge adrenaline rush. I get to ride in the front row. I rode back row the last time I rode. You really feel the linear G's pressing against your face. It was like, all of your cheeks like that. So it was a cool feeling and all. Just yeah, and I'm not positive if there was airtime on the top hat, and I was using it in the back row in case that matters. I don't even know. But yeah, still a pretty fun ride. Obviously, it's a short one. That's why I'm not a huge fan of these. But yeah. All right, Raptor. This was more like it. I seriously do prefer this to Top of Dragster. I said that in my top 15 roller coaster at Cedar Point video. And seriously, this is a great invert. The best invert I've ridden. Sadly, I haven't ridden anything else really. But anyway, basically every inversion besides the loop has whip to it. Like you just get whipped around the corkscrews, the clover roll, zero G roll. It's great, and it's a pretty scenic, picturesque coaster. It's along the midway, so it's by all those other coasters. Obviously, that this is before Valerie even came in. Yeah, it's just a very cool coaster. I look forward to riding some more inverts like this one. Now this one isn't the greatest opinion I can give on this coaster since I wasn't a coaster enthusiast when I rode it, but I can recall a few moments from this coaster. Like I recall being above the quarry wall and how cool that was. I mean, I remember some of that, and a lot of people like to call this the best floorless. I'm gonna have to disagree with that. I think that the Superman over in Spain at Park Warner Madrid, if that's right, or was it Warner Bros. Movie World? I don't remember, but they have another Superman floorless coaster that has seven inversions, two airtime hills, two helixes. So I mean, that's just nuts. This thing doesn't have any airtime hills. It's only got one helix, right? Or does it even have any helixes? I don't even know. Anyway, this is like not the best floorless coaster. I think Superman Law Attraction de Acero at that park is the best one. Anyway, oops. Anyway, pretty cool setting. I can recall being above it and all that I already said. Pretty intense second half. The corkscrews are pretty good. Pretty snappy inversions, especially that zero G roll, obviously. There's some good hang time on that huge loop, similar to Dominators. And there's a little bit of airtime in the brake run, as you can see in the left of that picture. This one's another one I'm kind of shady on my opinions on since I haven't rode it as a coaster enthusiast yet, so I haven't really paid attention to the airtime. Obviously, it focuses on airtime, as you can see here. Everything is just a hill in this coaster. I mean, there's a helix and a turnaround, obviously. It's a big allowance back, but it's mainly airtime and a few lateral moments, including that trick track. Anyway, beginning of the ride has floater airtime. As you can see, those huge hills, they're not the strongest of airtime. Like, sometimes, from what I've read in reviews, you don't always come out of your seat there. But the second half actually has some better airtime. You can get some ejector air, and obviously the turnaround gives some laterals, which I'm not a huge fan of laterals. They can be rough, but I've heard they're not that bad in this one. And there's also some really good laterals on that helix. So yeah, this is like the magnum opus of Cosmic Coasters International. It's just this huge, almost a high. It's basically a wooden hyper coaster. So that's that. I really look forward to rewriting it. It's the best wooden coaster I've ridden. I really need to get out to like, I don't know, Kings Island next year to ride their GCI and Holiday World especially. That looks awesome. Anyway, moving on, Full Throttle. It's my number five. This is where like top five is I'm much more solid with my top five for sure. It's a premier ride launch coaster. The first launch is pretty good. It's got some kick to it from what I recall. second largest loop in the world, and it obviously provides some great hang time. And then you get a fun little backwards launch into that unmemorable dive loop, but still pretty good. And I don't know why they call it a top hat, but I guess it's a top hat that we were looking at about the loop. And there was some pretty good airtime on the top hat. I don't know why I wrote ejector. I made this like a month ago. Uh, and I would say it's just a pretty cool looking coaster and how the top hat goes over the loop. So yeah, Premier Rides, pretty good company. Like, I've ridden their spaghetti bowl coasters like Poltergeist at Fiesta, Texas. That was a lot of fun. I'm a big fan of this company. Smooth coasters. I love the lap bars. So yeah, there's that. Number four, Tatsu is my only B&M flyer, and I realized that the first three bullet points here are just about how it's a flying coaster. Pretty cool to be a flying coaster, and it's pretty high up in the flying position. So that's always cool. It's got some cool, twisty, graceful, might I add, inversions. Pretty pretty intense, very intense. Probably one of the most intense moments on a coaster besides the Goliath at the same park. You can pull some great sustained G's, like around 4. It's pretty darn good. Yeah, just a very fun coaster. It feels a little short, but it's also the second longest flying coaster. Anyway, I wouldn't mind seeing some more flying coasters in the United States. Like Cedar Point should definitely get one. That's one B&M that they're missing. So yeah, like I would prefer a flying coaster over a dive coaster. Like B&M's Starry Sky Ripper at China. That looks awesome and super intense with that loop. Anyway, moving on. Stop getting on tangents here. Okay. So number 3 is Millennium Force, the 18 Giga coaster. You know that sound that you might be hearing? It's pretty darn high up. It's a pretty great setting. You just fly through those overbanks. There's almost some like whip to them. It's pretty cool. Highlight of the ride for me is the first hill. Pretty good sustained floater air time. Probably the best I've got on a coaster. And as you can see here in this picture, there could be some ejected air, but I'm not positive. I rode back row on the good train. I forget what train that is, but I know it was a good train. I don't even remember if there was ejector on that hill or not. Anyway, my only RMC Twisted Colossus. If only I had ridden Iron Rattler. Apparently, it's better than this one. Um, this thing's just awesome. It was seriously such a great ride. Very long. Obviously, it's got the 2 lift hills because they just made it all one track. Most ejector air on any coaster I've ridden. It's just so crazy what they do with this ride. And my all-time favorite inversion is definitely that 0G stall. You get some great hang time right there. Yeah, it's just seriously awesome. I only got like 2 dueling rides. So I got 2 dueling. Um, and golly, just a great ride. Seriously, it was the only ride at Magic Mountain I rode twice because it was that good. Yeah. Anyway, moving on to the number 1 coaster I've ridden, Maverick. Obviously, the Intamin Blitz at Cedar Point. What a great ride! Some great ejector air. Pretty good ride time and all that. Great restraints. I'm a pretty big fan of those nice Vestra trains, but they're not like the Vestra trains on like B&M's, the good ones like on I-305. Anyway, pretty twisty, so you get some good laterals and intensity. Um, Good ejector air time on those hills, as you can see here. Like the hill in the background, the one that the train isn't on, that gets some amazing air time. I'm pretty sure that's the first one. And then the best launch ever. Yeah, it launched you to 70, 72 or 70 miles per hour into these twists and these insane stangle dives. I just love it so much. Pretty big fan of this coaster. I look forward to riding it again. I've only ridden it like 4 times. Yeah. Anyway, such a great ride. Anyway. Let's keep saying anyway. And moving on to the possible countdowns that I'll do next. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and let me know what countdowns you want to see because these are easier videos to make than like other countdowns, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm pretty terrible at commentary, and I'll see you guys next time.